In this lesson, I'm going to demonstrate some basic animation in 3D Studio Max. I got a basic red ball here and a ground plane. And first I'm going to demonstrate the key modes. There's two different types of key modes, set key and auto key. And these are ways that we create keyframes. And these are kind of important positions in the animation. So let's say I just want to animate this ball moving between 2 points. So let's look at set key first, and you turn on a key mode by pressing it, and you can see that the key turns red and there's a frame that appears around the viewport. And with set key, what you have to do is where you position your object where you want it, and then you click the key button to create a keyframe. As you can see, it appears here on the timeline. I'm just going to move over here to, let's say, frame 18, and I'm going to move it across, and I'm going to click that key again. So as you can see, it now moves between those 2 points, right? Now, let's look at it in this one. Right, nothing fancy. And one way you can actually look at these keyframes, or another way you can look at these keyframes, is the track view. There's two views. There's the curve editor. Let's select our object first. There's our curve editor, and you can also look in the dope sheet mode. So we want to be looking at motion, so I'm going to go back to the curve editor. And as you can see, what 3D Studio Max does is that it kind of eases you in and out of these positions, as you can see from this curve. If I made this perfectly straight, let's just move these handles in, then it would look very mechanical. It would just move at the exact same rate from point A to point B, right? One of the animation principles is easing in and easing out, and this is more of a natural way that an object moves. Think of a car, or when a person breaks into a run, you know, they have to speed up and slow down first. So this is a more natural way of doing that, and this is kind of the default curve that 3D Studio Max gives you, and we can actually push it even farther. Let's just bring these out. And now look at the change in animation. All right. So this is a very good use of the track editor, and you can just kind of experiment with it going the opposite way, where it kind of speeds up into position. Right. Okay, let's go all the way back. All right. So I'm going to demonstrate now auto key. Now auto key may seem simpler at first, but it has some disadvantages as well. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to switch over to auto key. Now all I have to do for auto key is go to the keyframe that I want the next position to be in, and then simply move it into position, and it'll automatically create a keyframe. Now the problem with this is that sometimes you'll accidentally hit something and it will create a keyframe where you don't want one. So you kind of have to be careful, especially when you have more complex scenes with a lot of stuff in there. You want to try and use set key where you can, just to make sure you don't mess anything up. So as you can see, it gives you the same result. It's just a different way of doing it. Let's go here. All right. So now I'm going to apply this by just creating a very, very simple ball bounce. So let's just use, I'm going to stay in auto key mode. I'm going to start the ball all the way up here. And then I'm just going to make some points. So at frame 8 it goes down, and up at 16, down at 24, and up at 30. This one a little higher. Looks pretty good. Okay, so the next step is going to be, as you can see, that it doesn't quite arc the way, which is another principle of animation, that natural movement follows arcs. So let's open up the curve editor, and you can see that it's kind of created this nice smooth curve, which isn't quite what we want. So let's kind of put this into view. Let's just, we don't need to see the wireframe version. Oh, then I'm losing the ground plane. Oh, that's fine. We'll just switch to this into a better position. All right. Right. So what we want it to do is we want it to kind of slow down at these peaks and speed up when it hits. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in these handles at these points. And I'm going to bring out these curves a bit more. So now, when I play this animation, as you can see, it bounces a lot more realistically. And at any time you can go back in and, let's turn auto key mode, since we're not really animating right now. Now, what I did here is demonstrate these principles to through your transform properties. So, I was animating position. I wasn't actually animating rotation or scale, but you can in the exact same manner. But that's not limited. Keyframes aren't limited to that. You can actually create keyframes for nearly all modifiers as well. So you can create specific deforms, like say you wanted to add when it hits the ground, you want it to squash a little bit. You could use a modifier to do that and create keyframes for it in the exact same manner.